Methods that I use to enhance my communications will be controlling emotional filters, and by doing so, I'll be able to have proper active listening skills. I'll be able to focus more on the topic being discussed and use immediate filters as well. Immediate filters will improve my capability in reacting to the topics being discussed and focus on situations at hand. And usually, the way we perceive things are often different from when people are talking to us. Basically, our emotions decide how we hear things. And I like to become better at controlling that. I feel like after this course, I practice that a lot more, especially in the field I want to take in. And I also noticed that we learned about nonverbals, which basically how you look at people's communications without them speaking. For example, eye contact, body language, gestures, even like simple facial expressions, or you basically can tell how someone's feeling or thinking without them even saying anything to you. And it's very obvious when you have eye contact with them as well. Um, and I think one article that I remember I did a review on was one I did about sorry, one that I did about was motivational interviewing, and basically by doing that, it was me learning how people could try to change, from the change method. And the article was pretty detailed actually. It was more detailed than I expected it to be. They had each step from the change method. They also had like different examples of how people react to motivational interviewing and how you can improve reflective listening and all that, showing empathy towards other people as well. And it was really interesting. I honestly liked how in depth they went with with each segment of the article. And I think the other article I may reviewed was one about structural interviewing and also dealt with behavioral interviewing as well. And basically, it was really interesting. There was like an activity assignment that the article spoke about that had a class split in half, and had an interviewer and an interviewee, and they basically had to play like a speed dating sort of game. And the interviewer had to ask the interviewee behavioral sort of questions, and the questions that were answered, they usually scored them down. And they had about 2 minutes, and being in that whole speed dating format. And when the time was up, they switched perspectives, and they also answered different questions. It was really interesting. And the article went a little bit in detail with how to conduct that sort of interviewing with people. Structural interviewing with others. It was really interesting. And I guess you could say some abilities that I use after this course maybe worked on reflective listening. I feel like I could get a lot better at that and not be able to use selective hearing, because I'll be honest, I'm pretty bad with hearing certain things from people. I perceive it a lot differently. And that can also go with emotional filters. I feel like I can work with that. And also when I talk to someone, like as in a conversation, I could probably, figure like how they're feeling with body language and a lot of other things like that. And I like to say that it was interesting learning about most of the stuff from this course, and it truly is interesting. I feel like the more you get to learn how to speak to people and how to communicate, it just makes things so much more simpler. But I would like to thank you, Professor Talbert, for teaching us the materials and how to communicate with people, and it honestly makes the criminal justice field way more interesting. Because I want to become a substance abuse counselor, and I want to learn how to speak to people, how to read body language, to read tone, how to speak with people who don't really want to speak and all that. And just the fact that you give us the time to teach this, our class was pretty shortcut. I appreciate it.